Hello, hello, hello. Deborah Razzo here with my friend and co-coach Courtney Jones. We lead a mentoring program, and we just decided that we wanted to get online and share questions that we get on a weekly basis. And I got a bunch of questions. I'm a rehabber for I think some of you know that, and I got a bunch of questions about financing. And I think it was questions about how to structure financing, but it was also like, oh, I just can't do it. It's too expensive, right?
The mindset thing, right?
Mindset thing. So I wanted to bring that up today and talk about that and talk about your mindset and talk about money mindset specifically. I think it's something that we all have to wrap our heads around. I don't know about you, Courtney, but I wasn't, I didn't grow up thinking money grew on trees.
No, in fact, I was told quite the opposite on a regular basis.
I was too. And, it's interesting. Like, I think that once you start to learn that there is money out there to be used for rehabbing, I remember when I did my first flip and I was introduced to hard money. And I was like, what is this stuff? Like,
Right.
is this what mafia, like, is this the mafia money people talk about?
Am I going to get my legs broken?
Right? Like, I mean, I seriously, because I think when I was doing my first flip, I think the interest rate was somewhere around 4 or 5%, and I was paying 12, right? And I was like, I don't know what this is, but I had to wrap my head around it. I had to see how it worked, right? I mean, hard money is a really valuable thing that you can use if you're holding something less than a year, right?
Right.
Because all of those loans that you have to get to for conventional money usually have stipulations about how long you need to be in that loan before you can break that promissory note. With hard money, you can be in less than a year. And nowadays, hard money lenders will lend 80 to 90% of
Right.
your rehab project, which brings, so that's a whole money mindset in itself. And then and the fact that hard money is lending on the asset itself and not really on your credit. They do want you to have experience, right? Because
Right.
they're trying to make a good, lending decision. But do you run into this? I know that you have people who, I don't think believe that you can pick up properties, buy and holds without any money in it.
Yeah. And especially because obviously my expertise and area of where I spend a lot of time is in creative financing. So people have a hard time believing you can buy houses with no money down or without any credit of their own. And obviously, it's extremely easy to do once you learn the skill set. But there are just like so many options for whether it be a creative finance where the owner is financing and you're going after free and clears or subject to type deals or whatever, or you're doing a rehab and there's hard money options. And we probably should explain for people who may be brand new. Hard money is basically an asset lender, so they don't look at, like Deborah said, your credit so much and your past payment history, but they look at the asset. So if you're wanting to rehab a house that's say worth $200,000, they're willing to give you about $160,000 on that because it's a safe investment for them. If worst case scenario, they had to take that property back, they've got equity in that and it makes sense. So they are looking really at the asset more than anything. And then of course there's private lenders, which, we've both used, we both have been, and that's a whole nother thing. I mean, it is funny what, like you said, once you get into the business and you start seeing it, you go, why was money ever a concern for me? Because it really is an abundance. But early on, I definitely can see where people have that mindset and that fear because they're used to that traditional way of thinking.
Right. And you know what? It's funny because I think you have to meet people who have done it. Like, you have bought you've purchased houses with no money down or none of your own money in it, right?
Right.
I've flipped things with none of my own money in it. So first you have to learn that there are people out there that have done it and understand we're not like hawking something. We're
Right.
telling the truth.
Right. Right. Right.
And
It's an
then
actual thing.
right. And then you have to actually learn how to maneuver it. But the only way that you're going to do that is when you're in with a group of people who are doing it or know how to do it, right?
And you have to have an open mindset, right? If you come into everything with that mindset of it's not going to work. That's not true. They're lying. That's, then obviously you're never going to see the path and the way. I mean, it's like if I was pushing you through a forest and telling you to just follow this straight trail, but you don't see the other side, you're going to be like, yeah, no. But if you go, okay, I'm going to give it a whirl, I'm going to head down this way. And then all of a sudden you see this big area open up with gorgeous flowers, you have a different mindset. So you have to be willing to take those first few steps.
I love that analogy. So what we do in our mentoring program is we help people see the flowers.
Exactly.
Because the fact of the matter is there are ways to do things. And it requires belief, first of all. It requires knowing the numbers, second of all, and it requires being able to present things in an opportunist, like in a way to give people opportunity to make money on their money, right?
Yeah, and it requires like you being a person that people know, like, and trust, that they would consider giving their money to or working on a deal with, or those types of things. If you've been a slacker your whole life, we might have extra work to get you built up to the point where people are going to trust you with their money, because that's a big thing, right? It's probably the one thing other than our kids, that we're most, hold on to. So we have to work on that with some people as well. But yeah, there's such an abundance of it once you figure it out.
There is such an abundance. And what I really wanted to say to this woman who came to me was, excuse me.
Like we said, it's live.
Was believe, lady, believe, right? Like, yes, this is possible. And I think sometimes you get so stuck in a mindset rut,
Right.
like, I just don't have enough. I can't do it. Like that mindset rut. So, open up your mind and see the flowers and go for it.
Absolutely. You have to be willing to make a change and see things from a different perspective. If you're not open to that, then you're going to have a hard time with anything in life, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, you know what? If you want to hear more, please take a look at our YouTube channel and get more information, or ask us a question. Put it in the chat. I'll talk to you later. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.